Yo guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jinadu. Today I'm going to be giving you guys a little run through of how I balance being a professional footballer at Barnsley with my second year of university, studying by distance learning. So we're still trying to push the narrative of showing people that it's possible and even helpful of doing other things alongside being a professional footballer. So if you guys want to know how I managed to balance being on the bench in the EFL Championship, the FA Cup as a professional footballer, with, staying up to date with my assignments, attending my exams, doing a placement as part of my uni course, then make sure you guys stick around to the end where I'm going to be revealing what I got for my second year of university. But before we begin, make sure you guys like, comment and subscribe. Join me on this journey of balancing, professional football and education, showing you guys how important it is to have an identity beyond football. So where do we begin? I just want to start off by saying that if you go through my channel, all my previous videos, you see that this year I tried to do something different. Last year, I did a little review at the end of the year of how my first year of balancing pro football and university went. This year, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a deeper insight into how the processes work and everything, what I actually did instead of just the review and everything. So I've been getting messages, DMs, comments below my YouTube videos, like all of that, just asking me like how do I attend lectures, miss training, or how does it work? Do I attend lectures in person, stuff like that. So I just wanted to clarify that I'm only possible to, balance my football and education because of the fact that I study by distance learning. This is an important key point that I think, I need to make sure you guys understand, because I keep on getting this comment and this message on and on again. So if you're up and coming professional footballer, in order to, do what I do, and balance training, games with your uni work, attending lectures and everything, you need to find a course that facilitates your ability to, be away from campus. So let's take it back all the way to the start of the year. I moved up to Barnsley away from home and I started my second year of psychology. Let me tell you guys this, like the jump from first to second year was really, really mad. Like the work just got more serious because, first year doesn't really count. Second year is what, goes towards your final grade and everything. So it was just a big jump. The workload, everything. I was really feeling at the start that I had to really buckle down. Posted some videos where I explained how I organized my assignments, my files, my exams, so that I get them done on time. But even with that, like it was so hard to, keep up and just stay disciplined with it. But as I said, that key word discipline, that's what really brought me through it. After training at Barnsley, just coming home and just getting my work done, it was just more intense. Like this year, we had proper exams online that were actually, we had to actually do a revision for. In first year, it was just multiple choice questions where we didn't really, it was open book. It wasn't too much pressure on it. So this year, it was actually much more serious. So that's why I had to, you can see in my previous videos, my day in the lives and my match day vlogs, that I had to create some flashcards, some mind maps, just to stay on top of my work and my revision, so that I was actually taking in all the information. Not only did the workload get more intense, but at the start of last season, I even picked up a serious injury in my knee. You guys who've watched the recovery journey, PCL recovery, knee injury recovery journey, you guys will see that the behind the scenes of how that works. Most of you footballers know that when you're injured, the work rate, the workload, the amount of time you spend in the gym, the long days trying to get back to full fitness is real serious. Some would say it's even harder than when you're fit, because you have to do more work to just make sure you're staying fit and everything. That period where, the workload increased, that was some tough period. It was difficult for me to stay on top of my workload. That had to really, really grasp that. It was points in time where I just had to be home and just get my work done instead of going out doing other things. That it would be straight, come home after my rehab and recovery, and I'll just go straight to my desk and start writing up my assignments, start revising for my exams. Unless I couldn't, there's no chance I would have been able to reach the deadlines. There was just so much going on. So for me, at this point in time, it was just keeping my head, as I said a lot of the times in the PCL knee injury recovery series, like it's just a battle of the minds. So in term one, the combination of all of those things, like it made it tough, it made it intense, like straight graft. But at the end of the day, I just stuck to those principles that I've been promoting throughout these other videos that I've been doing on my channel. You know, just being disciplined, I've said that already. Managing my time correctly and just being proactive and making sure I'm working smart and not, you know, wasting time. The efficiency of my revision and efficiency of my research when I'm doing my assignments and stuff like that was really important at that time. So let me talk to you guys about the assignments during the second year. In term 1, I had 4 assignments and 3 exams. And in term 2, I had 4 assignments and 2 exams. So for me, what really helped me was just sticking to the things that I showed you guys in the video where I talked about how I keep on top of my workload. So I organize my files, my folders, my assignments, and all the documents I'm going to do all my assignments on in term 1 whilst I was, you know, injured and stuff like that. So me being disciplined with that, just doing an hour a day on each assignment and just, you know, working through it as time goes on gradually and not leaving it all till last minute. That's what really helped end up getting good grades on those assignments. So with exams, it was kind of different because we didn't actually get to do it at our own time. There was actually a specific time in which we had to actually take the exam, and it clashed with training. I tried speaking to my, you know, module leaders and stuff like that to see if they can move it or allow me to do the exam at a specific time. Obviously they said no because, you know, cheating, stuff like that. So obviously I had to make sure I speak to the manager at Barnsley and my goalkeeper coach just to allow me time off of training so that I can get my exam done, so that I didn't, you know, fail that part of the module. So, you know, what I did was I told them a couple months in advance so they knew, and I scheduled it and I made sure it was in the right time, that I wasn't missing out on a game, I wasn't missing out on an important training session. And after I'd done my exams on those days I told them about, I made sure I did a session with my goalkeeper coach after in the afternoon, just to make sure I'm staying on top of my fitness, not slacking in my football. So that was how I balanced that. It's a different thing, you know, being in a championship club, you know, Barnsley, where a player has to miss training session just to do an exam. Well, at first, when I was gonna ask, I thought it was gonna be maybe difficult. Maybe they look at you in some way, or they might not want you to miss training for that. But, you know, the managers, my goalkeeper coach was really nice, and they understood. So helped facilitate me doing it. It just shows you that it's possible, you know, to do both. So in term 1, working on my 4 assignments, mixed with, you know, my revision, my flashcards for my 3 exams, coupled up with, you know, recovering from my injury, my PCL injury. It was hectic, but as you're gonna see from my results, you're gonna see that I was able to manage it and pattern it. I came back from my PCL injury around early December and like mid-January time, so I wasn't staying too late. So in term 2, I was able to concentrate on my work more and get more done and stuff like that. But that doesn't mean it was easier, to be honest, because term 2 had a whole different experience, to be honest, of what I've been used to. You know, in term 2, I had my placement experience with the sports psychologist at Barnsley, which I've given you guys an insight into during my matchday vlogs against Manchester United and the days in the lives. That experience was just amazing. I think I'm like the first professional footballer to do a uni placement like that. So, you know what we do? We breaking the rules and changing the game. But like, it was a completely different experience. But how I managed to set that up is that, you know, early on, before term 2 started, I had conversations with the sports psychologist at Barnsley FC who worked with the academy players there, just sorted out how it would be possible to, you know, get insight into how being a sports psychologist actually is, because, you know, that's the pathway I want to do alongside my football and potentially after my career in football. She just took me under her wing and just sorted out my placement there, working with the younger academy players. To say the least, it was really an amazing experience. Like, it was my first time doing something like that, where I'm teaching the younger age groups, where we're delivering sessions, we have to plan sessions, where I'm learning more about sports psychology. So during the placement, I was just able to work with the age groups of under 9s all the way up to under 18s, just delivering psychology sessions on how to improve the mental side of the game, how to cope with pressure, positive self-talk. And I was able to even, you know, develop my own session where I deliver to younger players and parents multiple times, just talking about stuff we talk about on this channel, you know, the beyond football side, the importance of having an identity beyond football. And for me, it was just an amazing experience, because I was able to deliver sessions that I never got when I was younger, giving people an insight into the reality of the game of football, the crazy effect it can have if you have football as your be or end all, and having football as who you are completely and having no other interests. So for me, it was just really good to, share that insight to the parents and players, because it's so important. So that placement during term 2 involved me just staying back at the training ground later, or going home after training and then coming back later on to the training ground just to work with the younger players and the development squad on those psychology sessions with the younger age groups. So it was like during that period in term 2, I had a lot of long days, getting that work done, getting that placement experience as part of my uni course. So the placement gave me an opportunity to actually see how it actually is working in a job other than football, because I grew up in the academy system at Chelsea, West Ham, all this stuff, and it's just been football. Being a scholar at West Ham, coming over to Barnsley and stuff like that, I've never had the experience of, working a job other than football, which I think is so important to have, in creating that identity beyond football. So it just gave me a little feel of, something different to football, which felt good, to be honest, because it allowed me to develop skills like being able to present in front of the parents of the young player. That experience in itself was just like nerve-wracking. Like, I can't even lie. When I was developing the sessions, I was like, I'm gonna stumble on my words, I'm gonna flop, like my head's gonna go blank and stuff like that. So at first, like, obviously you're a bit nervous and that, but the more and more I done it and I spoke in front of the parents of the players and all the younger players and some of the staff, I did some sessions with the coaches as well. The more I done it, I developed, those communication skills and that confidence to be able to present actively, which helped me later on down the line when I spoke for the Premier League and when I've spoken at different conferences and stuff like that. So it's something I really advise. That's why I'm so big on, doing something outside of football, because it gives you other experiences. It adds another string to your bow. So yeah, just speaking to some of the younger players about, what they struggle with mentally when they're training or playing a game, it gave me some nostalgia of how I felt when I was younger as a keeper, where I used to beat myself up and get so upset whenever I used to concede, because I hated conceding. How much of a positive impact, like working with a psychologist growing up, helped me be the player I am today, developing coping techniques like positive self-talk. Like, let me know down below, what things did you struggle with mentally, like psychologically, when you were playing games when younger, or, during training sessions? Let me know down below. But yeah, so placement was the main thing for term 2, but I had 4 other assignments as well for that module of my placement, as well as, other modules as well. But I just continued doing what I was doing in term 1, which was organizing my files, my documents, where I'm going to do my assignments, and just adding it to them every day. I can't lie, there was one module, my forensic psychology module, where the assignment was just baffling my head. I had to message my lecturer about the question on the assignment, because I didn't even understand like what it was asking me to do. It was just confusing, but at the end of the day I was able to get more information about it and pattern it. But that was probably one of the harder assignments. The exam for term 2 was calm because it was at the end of the season, so term 2 finished around May. I was able to do the exam easily at home, no stress about whether or not I'm gonna miss training or anything. I was just able to do it because it was off season. Term 2 was also the period where I was more and more involved with the first team. So that's when I started getting on the bench with Barnsley in the Championship. I was on the bench against Swansea. You can see in the matchday vlog how in every single matchday vlog, I always show you guys what I'm doing on the coach. I'm either reading a book, my sports psychology book, or either, doing some revision on the coach for my exams and stuff like that. So that's literally just the little snippets I've been giving you guys of how I stay on top of my workload and balance it. That just shows the way you got to be proactive. So in that sense, whenever we had a match day and I was involved with the first team, a match day can take a whole day. So that's like a whole day where I might not be able to do work. So me being proactive and stuff like that, I try incorporate, bring a book with me, bring my revision with me, and bring my laptop with me so I get my work done on my coach. That's just me thinking ahead and staying on top of it. These are just some tips that to help balance, pro football and university. And for me, it wasn't even stressful in a sense, because I know people are like, Don't you want to rest and recover for the game? When you're thinking about getting your work done, does it not cloud you and stop your performance and stuff like that? I didn't feel that at all. Like, I feel like it was good. It was beneficial in the sense that it gave me a release. It gave me something else to think about other than game. Because, you know, before games, it's easier to just overthink what's going to happen in a game. But me, you know, doing my assignments, revising for my exams, it gave me that, you know, something else other than the football to think about, which in turn allowed me to calm down and relax in preparation for the games. So year 2, moving away from home, an increase in workload, being in a professional environment at Barnsley, you know, being on the bench in the Championship, in the FA Cup, exams, assignments, all of that. It's time to now see if it's actually possible to balance being a pro football at a high level with, you know, doing a university degree. I'm gonna show you guys my results right now. Boom, so here are my results. So as you can see, pass, progress to the next level. So that means I'm going into my final year, pass. But here you can see on all the modules, steady 2-1s, 68s, 67s, on my assignments and stuff like that. I always do better on my exams because, you know, I find them easier, it's repetition. But with my assignments and I have to do my academic writing, the references and stuff like that, I feel like that one's harder for me. But you can see in term 1, it was defo, I didn't do as well on my assignments and everything, just because of all that stuff I was talking to you about, you know, the workload, the pressure from, you know, being injured and stuff like that. Term 2, I definitely did better. You know, my PY 5005, where I done my placement and everything, was definitely my best module. That's where I got, you know, high first there, 85 and 90. That one there, it was just really sweet. So overall, when I add up all my, you know, results from all the modules, from all the terms and everything, I got about 73 overall, which is like about a first in my second year as well. So boom, I managed to get a first in my second year as well as my first year. So it just shows that all these things that I was talking about earlier on, you know, in the video where I done how to stay on top of my workload, all these things actually work. So it's definitely possible to balance pro football and university. So make sure you guys comment down below beyond football and check out all the journey throughout this second year of me, you know, actually balancing pro football and university. You can see throughout the match day vlogs, the days in the lives of how I actually get it done. So that's second year patterned. I'm going into my third year now where I'm gonna have to do my dissertation and everything, where it's gonna get even more intense, like first year to second year, but then second year into third year, it just gets even more intense. So make sure you guys like, comment and subscribe. Join me on this journey of balancing pro football and university. You know, next year I should be graduating from my degree as well as alongside playing professional football. So if you guys want to know how I do it, you know, stay tuned. If you guys enjoyed this video, then make sure to check this day in the life of me, you know, balancing pro football and university. Till next time.